All right. You know what I was going to do? I was going to watch all of the videos involving this, write up, just do a ton of research and write up a document going into this drama, and just unload you with all of the information, okay? I was going to come into this shit, like, overly prepared, all right? But then I realized something. Hold on a minute. I'm a streamer, not a fucking video essayist. I don't need to do that shit. The content can be learning about the drama, then giving my thoughts on it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going into this drama not blind, but certainly not as informed as I'd like to be. So that's what we're going to do. So for those of you guys that are aware, the long and short of the drama is Beau did some bad shit in his past. Beau the Fifth Column. Big YouTuber, big boy. How many subs does he have? 500, almost 600. Like, he's literally a few thousand subs away from 600K, okay? Leftist, fellow Floridian. I am from Florida. He is from Florida. Very, very nice memes. He's got that southern drawl, which I can really appreciate because it helps appeal to the southern boomers when it comes to leftist, politics. And he's a big dude, right? He's a good guy. However, he had some bad stuff in his past. Bad stuff that I'm sure we're going to hear about soon, but probably misrepresented and made to look as bad as possible by Mike here. And Mike from PA decided to come out and randomly make a video digging up this past drama because he has a problem with Beau the Fifth Column and wants to harm his reputation because, unfortunately, Mike from PA lives off of conflict from other figures, right? I'm pretty sure after this segment, he's probably going to try to start shit with me on Twitter. And honestly, I don't think I want to engage. As fun as that would be, I feel like giving Mike any attention fuels his relevance. I don't know if it's a good idea. Up to you guys, though. I don't know. So here's the question. Do we start with Mike from PA's video or with Beau the Fifth's column? No, actually, we're going to start with Mike's video because Beau's video is a response to Mike's video. We're going to turn it up to... Hold on. We're going to turn it up to 1.5 speed because it's 35 minutes long. So, yeah, let's get right into it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike from PA, and we are here to talk about Beau the Fifth Column. Beau is a famous lefty YouTuber with over 600,000 subscribers, known for his big unkept beard and his southern drawl. Beau has been growing in YouTube and becoming a larger and larger influence on how the left is perceived, both on this platform and in much of the discussions of leftism on the internet as a whole. Recently...
All right. I'm going to be honest. The people on Twitter saying I'm white and don't have lips are correct. White people really don't have lips. Also the hair. I'm sorry. I try not to ad hom, but yeah, no. This man's blindingly white. So am I, but this man's taking it to a whole other level. The whiteness is actually off the charts.
I was disturbed to find out that he had a checkered history, and his past behavior in exploiting workers, vulnerable people, including female immigrants, young women, 19 years old, brought here to work for less than minimum wage, and he personally profited. Beau has not shown any contrition whatsoever for these actions. And before we get started...
Hold on, big word, chat. Contrition. The state of feeling remorse or penitent. Okay, so he hasn't demonstrated... Well, because it's not, well known. Wait, why would a large online public figure bring up past shit that they've done and put themselves under fire? Why would they do that? That's the worst possible decision you can ever make. Listen, some advice for any public figure... If you've done something bad in the past that isn't really well known, don't bring it up for the sake of apologizing for it, okay? If it's going to come out, then people are going to dig for it and it'll come out. If you can hold off that shit coming out and harming your reputation for as long as possible, that's what you want to do.
This video is not intended to cancel someone, to be a purity test, or do anything to damage the leftist community as a whole.
Yes, it is.
I'm making this video because I believe it's important that we on the left hold each other accountable, especially when one of our own refuses that accountability. For those of you crying that Beau has become redeemed, he's doing a lot of good for the left. The first thing we must wrestle with is that for redemption and forgiveness to happen, one must show contrition. One must show remorse.
No.
One must
No.
show transparency
Not really.
and honesty.
No.
Beau has done none of those things.
Not really.
He continues to misrepresent what he did and why and who he was. And that is
This idea that you have to like get on your knees and grovel for forgiveness if you've done bad shit in the past to be a good person now is complete fucking bullshit. Listen, I'm a consequentialist. What's going on? Why do I have a ping on Discord? Get out of here. Listen, I'm a consequentialist, by the way. Yeah, not intended to cancel, by the way. I'm a consequentialist, okay? I actually don't give a fuck. It's nice. It is nice if somebody like apologizes for bad shit that they've done in the past, but like I'm a consequentialist. If somebody is a massive leftist figure and they're doing good nowadays, then yeah, just keep doing that good. Don't try to do anything that's going to get in the way of that person doing that good.
is not acceptable for us on the left. What worries me most is that his voice is being advanced over others, while he has personally profited from the exploitation of recent immigrants in some of the most vile ways you can exploit someone. And we are going to go over in detail, using both primary documents, the testimony of the women exploited themselves, and the interpretations of both law and policy from a number of sources.
So, from my understanding, apparently what Beau the Fifth Column did, this is from my understanding, I'm sure Beau will explain it in more detail in the future, is about 15 years ago. This was well over a decade ago, by the way. On the grand scheme of things, we're bringing up drama not from 2 years ago, not from 3, not even from 5 years ago, like a decade and a half ago. Someone ban donut reactions in YouTube chat, by the way, please. We're going real far back into this guy's history to try to cancel him. He went to prison for it and served, 14 months? Over a year he served in prison for it. He did his time. He took his punishment. Guys, I'm gonna be real with you here. Basically what he did was he exploited the labor of illegal immigrants for his own profit. He went to prison for it. He served his time, okay? 41 months. He went to prison for 41 months. Hold on, I gotta ban this dumb fuck. We apparently, once again, don't have any YouTube mods in chat. I need to get a mod team going, like an actual dedicated mod team. Okay, YouTube, don't. Like an actual... Oh, they were dedicated already. Nice, good. My mods finally did their job. Okay. Yeah, he served 3.5 years. Holy shit. Okay, he did some bad shit in the past, right? Absolutely. Terrible shit, really bad. He's apologized for it. He recognized it's bad. He's doing good stuff now. The idea that someone needs to take accountability online after serving 41 months in prison proves to me that no amount of reconciliation will ever please online leftists. Never. I want, anytime you hear a leftist online say they just want someone to take accountability for what they've done, call their bullshit, because if 41 years in if nearly 5 years in prison isn't enough, no amount of punishment or reconciliation will ever be enough for these people. Never, ever, ever. Never fucking listen whenever a lefty online that's doing the canceling shit says they just want someone to take accountability, or they just want reconciliation.
I don't relish this, and I don't want to destroy anyone. But what I do want is that our cause to be advanced, the cause of the immigrant and the impoverished and the exploited to be alleviated. I want to see progress in this country and this society. And that will not happen unless we start showing accountability and honesty for the exploitation and harm of the past. Now,
hey, Mike, if you want things to get better, then why are you trying to ruin the career of one of the largest leftist figures on the internet? Why are you doing that? Do you maybe think it's because you're a grifting piece of shit who's just doing this for clout, to suck off relevance from a much larger creator?
Now, before we begin, I want you to know what we're talking about exactly. And I'm going to go to Beau himself to show you what he says and who he is.
Now, one of the questions that pops up, not one of the most frequently asked questions, but one of the questions that pops up kind of often, am I a convicted human trafficker? No, of course not. That's stupid. Convicted alien smuggler. There is a difference.
So Beau is absolutely right that there is a difference. And we're going to explain why he has been called a human trafficker, not by me, but by many legitimate sources and organizations that try to combat human trafficking. Beau is right. He's technically right. He was only convicted of alien smuggling and fraud and deception of those that he smuggled. But if you look at the facts of the case, you will find that he wasn't some coyote fighting to help people escape oppression as refugees. He was the most vile type of human trafficker. Somebody who brings people here under false pretenses and works them for sub-minimum wage, houses them in crowded conditions, and then exploits them for his own personal profit. I draw your attention to the United Nations definition on human trafficking. Human trafficking is the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of people through force, fraud, or deception with the aim of exploiting them for profit. Men, women, and children of all ages and from all backgrounds can become victims of this crime, which occurs in every region of the world. The traffickers often use violence or fraudulent employment agencies and fake promises of education and job opportunities to trick and coerce these victims. I draw your attention to the fraudulent employment agencies because that was what Beau did, and he made millions of dollars doing it.
Oh yeah, and he also went to prison. Oh, he went to prison for 5 years, and guess what? Oh shit. Oh yeah, he is doing the Trump thing by saying this is why people have called me human trafficker. Not me, of course, but here's why he's a human trafficker. It's pretty funny too because presumably, I mean, he went to prison, and typically when you go to prison for doing something like this, your assets get taken, right? This is true, right? Like I'm not wrong here. Like if he made that money doing something illegal and he went to prison for it, the federal government would have taken the money he made from it. They seize your assets when you go to federal prison for something like this. I remember there's actually it's not completely similar, but it's somewhat analogous because it involves a YouTuber going to prison. Who here remembers FPS Russia? They did? Nice. Hypers, if you know who FPS Russia is. Old school YouTuber. I'm glad some of you do. Well, FPS Russia's real name is Kyle, and he lives in Georgia. And yes, he is not actually Russian. And a few years ago, he got arrested for possession of marijuana. For those of you guys that don't know, marijuana is illegal and is I believe Schedule 1 drug in Georgia. And he went to prison for it for 60 days, 90 days. It was like 2 months, 2 or 3 months. He went to prison for it, federal prison for possession of marijuana in Georgia. And he had all of his guns seized when he went to prison, which meant that him running a gun channel meant he couldn't do that anymore. He lost all of his guns from his gun channel, and he went to prison for 60 days, 90 days, something along those lines, for possession of weed. And they seized all of his assets, all of his guns, all that kind of shit. So, and my man's wasn't even, doing anything illegal with those guns, from my understanding. So, presumably, Beau would have had his shit taken as well, possessed or sale. They took it, they stole it. Like the government seized all of his guns, and he's not allowed to own He's not allowed to own any guns in America anymore. I think he said recently he might be allowed to buy a bow, like a crossbow. He might be able to buy one of those. But yeah,
this is who Beau is. Justin Eric King. He was sentenced 41 months in prison, followed by 3 years suspended release, resulting from his conviction on charges of conspiracy to commit visa fraud, and conspiracy to commit alien smuggling. The defendant and his co-conspirators brought illegal aliens, mostly from Bulgaria and Romania, to work in the hotel industry in and around Dustin, Florida. And that is where the trafficking comes in, the labor exploitation. Here, and in case you're wondering,
2008.
Here is a report from the Southern Poverty Law Center that cites his case, called Culture Shock, the exploitation of J-1 cultural exchange workers. One of the things that Beau did is he exploited the J-1 visa. Well, what is the J-1 visa? They come to experience all America has to offer. They hope to pay their way by working a summer job as they experience a new culture and learn English. They work in our hotels, restaurants, fast food chains, and amusement parks.
Do we care about this? Do we care about this, or do we care about the stuff with Beau? Come on, this video is way too fucking long. Here, is this...
Most were also students who were intent upon returning after several months to their homes in Eastern Europe to continue their studies. So the reason why I'm bringing this up and why we are going in such depth is one of the lies that Beau tells was that he was working as a private military contractor to rescue Jews from Uzbekistan and other, quote, exploited and dangerous, exploited people. That he was the good guy. He was fighting against the man. He didn't believe in open borders. When in reality, what he was convicted of was defrauding and exploiting vulnerable young women from Eastern Europe. And we're going to get into those details. This is disgusting behavior. And he continued.
I want to make it very clear because you can notice that what Mike from PA is doing right now, or sorry, redacted from redacted, don't want to, yeah, I know, fake lawyer, all the memes, get all the memes going. We don't want to dox him, of course. What he's doing right now is, have you noticed, what do you guys notice about the way he's speaking? I'm curious. Because lefties are really bad at noticing this kind of shit. What do you guys notice about the way that he's speaking here? Close space, stall. Yep. Finite space. Thank you. I could hug you right now. Moralizing absolutely every word. He's overplaying how offended and how hurt he is about this. He's trying his best to make what he did seem as bad. Like, don't get me wrong. What Beau did is horrible. What Beau did was horrific, right? Very bad stuff, right? But by trying to make it sound like he's purposely trying to make this sound so terrible with this emotional language. The point of what he's doing here is to make it so that anyone who defends Beau comes off as bad as possible. He's trying to make it so, like, me, for example, responding to him, if I respond to this, it makes me look bad because of how emotional Redacted from Redacted here is acting. That's the point of the language he's using.
Continues to lie and dissemble about this past. Many had been promised non-existent jobs when they were recruited in their home countries. Upon their arrival in the Florida Panhandle, they were instead employed for substandard wages by Eurohouse and assigned to work in local hotels and resorts. Eurohouse operated as a labor subcontractor, providing services to hotels such as the Sandestin Hilton. Eurohouse was able to offer the low bid on labor contracts precisely because they did not pay federal minimum wages to their employees. Beau brought women here with his co-conspirators and did not pay the federal minimum wage, which at the time was $7.25 an hour. They further charged the students between $1,500 and $2,500 each for visa processing, job placement, and transportation fees. Now do the math. If you're making $7.25 an hour and someone charges you $2,500, that is an incredible amount of money. And when you look at the scale of
Great maths. Can we get to like actual arguments? We know that what he did was bad. Listen, guys, I want to make it very clear. I'll make it very clear to all of you, okay? What Beau did is bad and is inexcusable. He went to prison for 41 months, lost everything he gained from doing that, and is now a leftist, one of the largest leftist figures there is, and is influencing shit tons of people to the left. In fact, I'm pretty sure he said that his time in prison is what made him an anarchist and is what moved him left. What else is there to atone for? He went to prison for like 5 years. Well, more like 4 years. Like, this is what proves to me that, like, leftist, like, a lot of leftists don't actually, like, care about... It really is true. Like, leftists don't actually mean it when they say they just want someone to take accountability. Because I'd say going to prison for 4 years is about like the peak of taking accountability for something. What else is there to do? He served his time. 41 months. He was probably sentenced to longer, if I'm being honest. Typically, like, yeah, not leftist Sanderhall. No, leftists believe this kind of shit. This is a problem with a lot of leftists.
And so when he says he was just an alien smuggler, he is lying to you. And this is why he's refused to discuss the case, because he knows that the facts are damning. Here, I will draw your attention to the direct testimony of one of the women who was exploited. Her name is Tanya. I can hear some of you right now objecting. Beau was just a paper pusher. He was filling out the visas as he was instructed to do. He was filing paperwork. Who cares about U.S. immigration law? It's unjust. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I believe in open borders and a just immigration policy. But no matter what our immigration policy is, people like Beau and the activities that they engaged with should never be permitted. He exploited these young women. He stole their paychecks. And no, he wasn't just a paper pusher. He was directly involved in every aspect of the criminal conspiracy, of the exploitation of these workers, of this class treachery. I will draw your attention now to the testimony from Tanya, one of the many women.
God, the moralizing and the virtue signaling is ridiculous. You don't have to do this whole, like, and they suffered and yada yada. Like, yes, we get why this is wrong. Stop. Hold on. Sorry. I'm adding my dislike to the pile. This is so fucking obnoxious. This is like such a goddamn, like, pathetic attempt at moralizing and virtue signaling. We all know this is wrong. Beau knows this is wrong. Beau's fans know this was wrong. You need to convince us. If you want this video to be successful, Mike, You need to convince us why we should go against Beau, even though he served his time. That's what you need to convince me of, Beau. I almost called him Beau. That's what you need to convince me of, Mike.
That he exploited. Well over 200 women from Bulgaria and Romania were exploited in this fashion. I will show you her testimony and how King was directly involved in every aspect of the exploitation. Yes, I did, probably after a couple of months. And I'd been promoted as an inspector of housekeeping, which is a supervisor of housekeeping, inspecting rooms. How much was your raise? How much money? I started getting $8 an hour. 8 an hour? Nods head. Your visa was scheduled to end in November of 2005. Did anybody at the Euro House offer to file some type of petition to get an extension on your visa? Yes, they did.
Wait,
offer.
isn't the $8 above minimum wage? Wasn't like the minimum wage like $7.25 an hour at the time? So she she was a manager. I know people were getting underpaid, but interesting.
To file an extension. It's important here to look and see that she was supposed to be getting $8 an hour. But this next segment is incredibly important. It shows the fraudulent scheme to pile fees and charges on these women to create a condition of peonage, of debt slavery, where they were forced to work for basically nothing. Who offered to file the extension for you? I spoke with Mr. Justin King and I spoke with Stan from Eurohouse. So I've been told they are offering extensions. They are going to provide for me. And I wanted to be loyal to my employer. I was thinking that was the right thing to do. I have a visa from them, so I should extend. So you were going to work longer at the Embassy Suites then? Yes. How much were they going to charge you for the visa extension? They told me the extension was going to cost $1,154. Now, earlier we discussed the Southern Poverty Law Center report on the abuse of J1 visas and H2B visas, where the charge of fees, the costs, was completely unregulated. And King had no legal expertise, and he was committing fraud when he filed these applications. King had no legal experience. This charge of $1,154 was totally unregulated and totally unwarranted. The purpose of which was to divert this woman's wages into King's own pocket. Now, in order for this visa extension to occur, did anybody bring you a new written agreement for you to stay on with Eurohouse for a longer time? Yes. Justin King bring me the new agreement, which I need to sign. That's the seasonal employment agreement that Mr. King brought you? Yes. And where did you? You said he brought it to you. Where did he bring this agreement to? At the housekeeping office in Embassy Suites Hotel. So you were actually working the day he brought this to you? Yes. And it was Justin King that brought you Government's Exhibit 102? Yes, ma'am. Now, did Justin King, did he actually know through this offer and apply for it for a visa extension for you? Yes.
Jesus Christ, he's padding out this video. Jesus. I want to see where he's making actual arguments. All right. Here's the last bit. Give it to me, Mike. Make some actual arguments, please. Stop trying to, like, give us a sob story about how bad what he did was. We know it was bad. Hold on. Hypers if we all agree Hypers if we all agree that what Beau did was horrible. Beau tweeted he wants to curb stomp his past self. I'm pretty sure even Beau would agree that what he did was horrible. So, you should see his combo with Chudlogic after this. It proves how slimy Mike is being. If you can find me a video, I'd like to see it. Chudlogic's a good lad. A good bruv.
I don't have all the answers. But what I do know is that we have an unrepentant human trafficker who is a major figure on the left here on YouTube. He goes around and lies about the behaviors that he perpetuated.
We have an unrepentant human trafficker. Notice the language there. It's not, we have somebody who engaged in human trafficking. It is, he is a human trafficker. The language being used there is intentional. I really do think it is. Because he did that in the past, that is what he is now. That is what Mike wants him to be defined as from now on. Despite the fact that he admitted that it was wrong, the fact that he served multiple years in prison for it and lost everything he gained from doing it, the fact that he hates that he did this and is now working to make the world a better place by spreading leftist ideas. The sentence, by the way, Justin Eric King, 27 of Charlie, Florida, has been sentenced to 41 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release resulting from his conviction on charges of conspiracy to commit visa fraud, and conspiracy to commit alien smuggling. Assistant Attorney General Alice S. Fisher of the Criminal Division, United States Attorney Gregor R. Miller of the Northern District of Florida announced today the defendant and his co-conspirators brought illegal aliens, mostly from Bulgaria and Romania, to work in the hotel industry in and around Destin, Florida. King was sentenced by Senior District Court Judge Lacey A. Collier of Pensacola, Florida. King's 3 co-conspirators pleaded guilty and testified against King at trial, which culminated in his conviction on December 3rd, 2007. The 3 are natives of the former Soviet Union and have already been sentenced. Anna Swerswin, 57, pleaded guilty to a 12-count information admitting Her part in the conspiracy, which began as early as 1999 in Georgia and continued until 2010 in Florida. Since 8 months of Florida, Alexander V. Vernon, 38 was since 32 months. King became part of the conspiracy in 2005 and quickly took over the role of negotiating new contracts with hotel owners, communicating with state and federal agencies, and broadening the conspiracy. Approximately 72 aliens entered the country under fraudulent visa petitions on which King worked. King harbored another 39 aliens, and an additional 1,558 aliens would have entered the states if additional fraudulent petitions King worked on had been approved. The indictment resulted from a joint investigation by the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office, the U.S. Department of State's Diplomatic Security Service. Yeah, we already know this. He already read this off. All right. Give me more moralizing and virtue signaling, Mike.
He does not explain what he did to these women. And as far as I'm concerned, we cannot have someone advanced on the left, promoted by Google, promoted by the algorithm, promoted by now this, who is somebody who has exploited people like this.
Yep, here it is. He says at the beginning, I'm not trying to cancel, but then goes on to say, we cannot allow this person to have a platform. There it is. There it is. Never fucking accept it. Always call out their bullshit when these people say they aren't trying to cancel someone and then immediately follow it up with, but here's every bad thing this person has done in the past, and here's why they should be completely deplatformed and should lose their career and should have no place in the left.
Imagine the damage that will be done to the movement if people find out that one of the most prominent voices on the left was a human trafficker who exploited.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike, imagine. Imagine what would happen if people found out about that, huh? Yeah. That would be pretty bad, huh? Man, I imagine some Weasley little dipshit would make a video about it to try to grab clout from a much larger public figure, huh? That would be pretty crazy, huh? Yeah, imagine if someone made an extremely emotionally loaded virtue signaling video about how terrible it is, claim that they aren't trying to cancel the person, then goes on to make a big moralizing statement about how terrible he is, claim that he needs to be deplatformed, despite the fact that he spent multiple years in prison for it and has since said that he despises what he did, and he's glad he got the punishment that he got because it ended up motivating him to become a leftist because of his lived experiences. Damn. What a Weasley... What a fucking liar, dude. What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude. Holy shit, dude. Holy fucking shit, dude. Literally lying. Still lying to his audience. Can somebody please fucking explain to Redacted from Redacted that he's literally lying to his audience?
Exploited hundreds of women for his own profit. We cannot complain about the labor conditions at Amazon. We cannot complain about the actions of people like Matt Gaetz if we allow this to go unanswered and underresponded. As I've shown you...
You claim to dislike people who are actively engaging in sexual assault and reactionary rhetoric, but you allow a leftist figure who 15 years ago, like over a decade ago, who did bad stuff, has gone to prison and has since said that he is ashamed for it to exist on this platform. Curious.
You multiple times in this video. Beau is not forthright and is not contrite. For redemption to occur, and I believe in rehabilitative justice. I believe in redemption. I believe.
No, you don't.
But in order for forgiveness to take place, remorse, genuine remorse, and accountability must be shown.
That's not how that works. Hold on. Accountability was him going to prison, by the way. Listen, I'm going to be honest. I'd ballpark it, say 60% of leftists don't actually believe in reformative justice. Like, they believe in it that's a good freeze frame, by the way. They believe it in the virtue signaling sense, like when it comes to criminal justice and whatnot. But when it comes to like the actual philosophical idea of reformative justice, the idea that somebody can do something bad and move on and make up for it and be forgiven for that, they don't believe that. The way that these types of people handle drama completely blows this argument the fuck out of the water. I have been debunking the argument that leftists believe in reformative justice for a while, and this is the perfect example of that. That literally 41 months of prison isn't enough for these people to believe that you've atoned enough to be reformed.
And that is not what has happened with Beau. Beau has gone and misled people about the details of this case. He has refused to discuss further his background and how much he personally profited. As I think I've demonstrated clearly in this video, no matter what you may think of the presenter, Beau is...
Also, is it really profiting if you... Is it really profiting if all of your assets get seized by the government and you lose it all? Like, that's... I mean, like, it's not like he's sitting on a mound of gold in his basement because of the shit that he did. It's all gone. It's all gone. He got it, like, possessed by the government. That's how... Mike, you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer, my dude. You should know. The federal government typically seizes your assets and that kind of shit happens.
Is the person who has profited, personally, from the exploitation of literally hundreds of people, paying them sub-minimum wage, forcing them into crowded apartments with up to 20 people at a time. And he made, and his co-conspirators made. That is unacceptable. And we must reckon. If we are going to be advocates for immigration, for advocates for the downtrodden, advocates for people that are oppressed.
No, Mike isn't a lawyer. He claimed to be. I believe he's never even litigated a case. Like, he's not like an actual lawyer, from my understanding. I think he got disbarred or something. Hold on. Here, we're going to go ahead and dox Redacted from Redacted here. Mike from PA, fake lawyer. I think there was a master post made about it. Yeah, so here's, I know it's the Destiny subreddit, but they typically have some pretty good archives on people. Michael Byers, that's, listen. We're doxing Redacted from Redacted. Name stricken from May ballot by Pennsylvania Supreme Court. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court, hold on. Wait. Please. There we go. Oh, yeah. There we go.
The Pennsylvania Supreme County is ordering that Michael W. Bayer's name be stricken from the primary ballot as a candidate for the state legislature. Monday's order reverses a Commonwealth County ruling that would have allowed Bayer to be the Democratic candidate to represent the 131st Legislative District. Bayer is surprised and disappointed by the ruling, according to Atty. Adam Bonnen, his lawyer. The Commonwealth Court judge, who was a Republican, found Michael persuasive and credible, said Bonnen. It's disappointing that the Supreme Court came to a different conclusion without hearing from Michael Bayer. Bonnen said Bayer still could get on the May ballot as a write-in candidate. He needs 300 people to write in his name, and if he gets the highest number of Democrats to write him in, then he will be the Democratic nominee, said Bonnen. The Supreme Court order states that Bayer listed his current occupation as lawyer when he was a law school graduate who had neither taken nor passed the bar and who was not presently engaged in working with the law in any way. The court ruled candidates' knowing and material representation cannot be characterized as the product of...
The Supreme Court ordered states that Bayer listed his current occupation as lawyer when he was a law school graduate who, quote, had neither taken nor passed the bar, which means you're not a lawyer, and who was not presently engaged in working with law in any way. He didn't pass the bar, at least at the time that this quote comes from. I don't know if he had since or whatever, but... He hadn't passed the bar, which means you're not a lawyer. The bar is essentially, I believe, listen. Just ban them all, Cracky. Listen, from my understanding, to pass the bar is essentially you graduate from law school, you are now a lawyer, right? Like you have passed the bar. Yeah. You just watch Better Call Saul and you'll know what this is, right? He's never litigated a case, which means he's never actually done lawyer work.
The court ruled candidates' knowing and material representation cannot be characterized as the product of a good faith mistake. It further stated electors were material misled by the defect to the effect of potentially defeating their right to nominate on fair information. The order indicated that...
Oh yeah, by the way, they determined that he knowingly lied about his qualifications and his experience.
The order indicated that defects arising from good faith mistakes may be amendable, so they do not require striking a candidate's name from the ballot. The Supreme Court's decision was not unanimous. One of the court's 7 judges, Justice Max Bear, filed a dissenting opinion. Bear disagreed that Bear made a knowing and material misrepresentation warranting the striking of his name from the ballot. Bear said the Commonwealth Court had made a specific factual finding that Bear had no intent to deceive the electorate by listing his occupation as lawyer, but rather believed that he was a lawyer because he had studied law and graduated from law school. The 29-year-old Bear hoped to run against incumbent Republican Justin Simmons in November. The 131st District State House seat includes southern Lehigh County and part of Northampton County. Bear, who resides in Northampton County's Lower Saucon Township, is the son of former state rep. Karen Bear, a Republican who lost her House seat to Simmons in 2010. Michael Bear switched his party affiliation from Republican to Democrat to run against Simmons.
Oh yeah, by the way, guess what? Up until 2014, Mike from PA was a Republican. The bar is a license to practice law? Yeah. Ooh, damn, Mike. I don't know if you've properly atoned for the sin of having used to be registered Republican, you know? If you voted, then presumably you voted for Republicans. You helped give power to a fascistic party in the United States. You know, listen, I would forgive you for your past actions because, of course, you shouldn't be judged by your past. You should be judged by your current present. But, you know, you're not offering the same charity to Beau, and you didn't even go to prison for 41 months for your crime.
We must hold our own accountable. Beau, you must respond.
Beau did respond. Let's get it!
Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Beau again.
Yeah.
So today is going to be a little different. Today we're going to talk about me, something I normally don't do on this channel. I try to make this channel about ideas, not the person presenting them. The story starts months ago, from what I understand, I think before the election, but I don't know the story's taking place yet. A non-government organization saw my content. They're like, we can use this. And they started paying to have it run as like ads when people would search for something bad, when they would search for how to join a bad group.
For those of you guys who don't know what's being talked about here, basically an organization, essentially, is the stream dead? Stream's still good, right? Stream's good? Okay, cool. Essentially what happened was Beau's videos were being brought up as sort of like a last barrier. It's kind of like if somebody plans to commit suicide. Like if you Google how to commit suicide on Google right now, the first thing that'll come up is like a suicide hotline, right? So it was something similar to that. Like when people were looking to join hate groups and like fascist terror groups, there was a organization helping to platform Beau's content to be in the way of that, so that they might stumble upon his content and potentially be dissuaded from doing such a thing. And Mike from PA has seen this and has decided to try to harm this. This should help you get into Mike from PA's headspace here. Mike from PA finds out that a leftist content creator, his content is being put in a place where it'll help potentially de-radicalize people that are actively looking to join fascist terror groups, and says, I need to dig into this guy's past and figure out a way to destroy his career. Mike from PA will find no respect from me.
A militant group, or when they would search for how to do something horrible, they would see my smiling face. They'd see that thumbnail. The idea, they click on it, they watch it, and they get de-radicalized. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, over the years, I've gotten messages from some of you saying that, you know, you were on a bad road and my videos helped get you off of it. And to me, those were the wins. That's what really mattered. Actually creating some change there. So a couple months ago, when I find out this is happening, and a group that is dedicated to de-radicalizing people find out they were using my content, man, I was flattered, very proud. A little taken aback at first because nobody had asked me if they could use my content. But to be completely fair on this one, had they come to me and said, hey, this is what we're going to do, I would have said yes. I would have said yes. I think it's amazing. I think it's a great program. I wanted to make a video about it then when I found out it was going on. But I couldn't. I made a tweet about it, but I couldn't make a video. Because in order for this to work, it has to at least somewhat appear organic. You know, if you were searching for something horrible and my video helped get you off that road and you continued watching videos and then you stumbled across one that says, hey, that thing that happened to you, that was totally intended.
Hold on, I gotta pause it for a second because the Holy Toast Show just made the perfect comparison in YouTube chat. Mike from PA is unironically the Onision of Breadtube. That's a pretty damn good comparison. Constantly getting roasted by literally everybody. A complete piece of shit who moralizes and virtue signals and lies. Pretty damn good comparison.
You might feel tricked. It might undo the good that was done. So I couldn't talk about it as much as I wanted to. Couldn't make a video. I couldn't imagine anybody not wanting a program like that to succeed. I mean, it's amazing. The idea of using just ads and content that already exists to stop violence, to save lives. I don't see how that could be a bad thing. But apparently there are some. There are some. Because a whole bunch of information started getting pushed out about me. Now, I don't know. I don't want to assign a motive. I don't know if it was directed specifically at me or it was an attempt to delegitimize and undermine the program. I don't know which, and I don't really want to speculate. But information started getting pushed out about me. Some of it's silly. He plays up his accent. And we've talked about it. Sometimes I do. I did a whole lot in the beginning.
There's nothing wrong with
to
that.
stuff that isn't quite so silly. Everything from my past use of inflammatory rhetoric to everything I have ever done or been accused of.
You know something funny? Listen, I'm gonna divert from the point here for a second. This is actually something I've talked about before, but growing up in the South, so my family, yeah, this is a perfect face pause because compared to the pause face that we did for Mike, where he's like, it kind of looks like it's a very nice soy face for Mike. This is the perfect reaction from Beau, just like, right? Like this is just like oh God, it's the perfect reaction image to this drama. I want you guys to clip this and use this as a reaction image anytime you see this drama brought up because it's perfect. This is the appropriate reaction to this drama being brought up in the first place by Mike. But living in Florida, now my family, they speak like I do. Nobody in my family really has like a Southern accent despite living in Florida. But when I went to school and I hung out with people, the vast majority of them had Southern accents. So when you're around people with Southern accents a lot, it starts to rub off on you. And there was a good amount of time where occasionally I'd start speaking with a Southern accent, you know, a little bit like this, without really realizing I was doing it. And it wasn't like super like hardcore or anything, but it would happen. And there'd be a bit of a Southern accent, like a Southern drawl to it, right? I even say Florida, right? I'd start doing it without realizing it, and I got like really annoyed with it. And I started to like repress it, but sometimes it comes out a little bit. You guys have probably heard me on stream, like suddenly, like I'll say a word with a bit of a southern accent, like on accident, because sometimes it just kind of happens, you know? Sometimes it just kind of happens. If I let myself do it, I can do it pretty well. I could just do it all the time if you want me to, but I try not to. I don't think I don't really think it fits my aesthetic personally. But yeah. No, we're going
some stuff that I
going
was
back to
never
my-
accused of. All got pushed out there. If you don't know, even though we've talked about it on the channel 10 years ago, 12, 13, but a long time ago, I got busted for alien smuggling. I know, shock, right? I guess this was, the idea was to paint it that this program shouldn't use people like me with that background. Which leads to the idea that the people who can reach those who are actively searching for how to do something violent are clean-cut people with no background. I don't know that that's true. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It seems like there should be some kind of relatability. You know? If it was just...
It's not even that, Beau. Like, I don't believe that just because someone did something bad in the past should exclude them from doing anything for the left. Even if you weren't doing that program and people were trying to bring this up in the first place, the fact that this is being brought up to try to, like, fuck you over is what's shitty in the first place. It's only like the cherry on top that they're doing it to prevent you from being able to reach people that could potentially join a fascist terror group to commit acts of terrorism. Like that, on top of all of that, like there's the bullshit of it even being brought up at all to try to harm you when you're doing just good by existing on this platform and spreading positive messages. But then the cherry on top is it's also being used to try to prevent you from reaching people that really need your help.
Clean-cut people talking about doing good and all of that stuff with a slightly paramilitary vibe that worked, well, we wouldn't have extremists. We'd have a whole bunch of people in the Boy Scouts. It's not the real world. I think there does need to be some kind of relatability. Now, if this push was aimed at me and getting me out of this program, congratulations, you won. My content is no longer being used for this. Okay.
Good job, Mike.
But to me, it's not about me. I don't care about dragging my name through the mud. It's about that program. That program is still going. And it doesn't matter what your goal was, you're going to fail. I will still be right here making videos. I got messages from people who got off a bad road from my videos before this program ever started. I will get them after. That program, it will continue, and it will continue to do good. And even if you were able to undermine it to the point that it stopped, 10 more would spring up in its place. Because there are enough people who are tired of the division, who are tired of the violence. And they will use whatever tools they have available to make it stop. And apparently, ads are a good way to do it. Didn't change anything. On a long enough timeline, our side wins. Guaranteed.
I hope so.
Now, if you were one of the ones who pushed this information out there, for whatever reason, congratulations. You won. You succeeded in removing a tool to de-radicalize people who were searching for how to do something violent. Remember that next time something horrible happens. I hope the clicks were worth it.
My fucking man.
I'll be right here. If you have any questions about my views on anything, I have 1,300 videos recorded over the last couple of years, and I will let my record speak for itself. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.
Everyone go sub to Beau if you haven't already. I imagine many of you have. My fucking man, that outro. And I do want Mike to know that what he did may potentially cause someone who could have otherwise been de-radicalized before engaging in fascist violence. He may have prevented that de-radicalization. It's possible as an extension of his actions that violence could occur. What is this? Why do you link this to me?
So it's out of the way at the beginning, okay? Because just because Mike looks like he's going to kill all of us by wrapping his sweaty hands around our necks, yes, he does look like Nosferatu. Even though he looks like a recently deceased corpse, it is actually possible, and I mean this unironically, it is actually possible that he has something here, okay?
Oh.
He does look like a deep fake of himself. Yes, that's true. Even though I'm a catty bitch sometimes, and I do think that Mike looks like the recently embalmed.
Okay, that's a good meme. Good job, Demon Mama. I appreciate your roasts. I'm gonna give that a like. I'm gonna give that channel. I'm gonna give that Twitter a follow as well. Yeah. So, yeah. Yep. Fuck Mike. Mike's a piece of shit. I feel like Mike is like the definition. It's really weird. I feel like Mike is the perfect crossover. Who here knows what LSF bait is? Oh wait, is this the debate between Chud Logic and Mike? We'll take a look at a bit of that in a second.
Here we go. Is it? Listen.
Hold on. Listen. Okay. Who here knows what LSF bait means? If you aren't really like in tune with the Twitch community, you might not know. Who here knows what LSF bait is? Hypers, if you know. So, LSF bait is a reference to an extremely popular Twitch-based subreddit called Livestream Fail. The idea of Livestream Fail is essentially to... The idea behind Livestream Fail is to just sort of post, like, funny clips that happen during people's streams, right? And while a lot of these clips can just be wholesome, like, oh, look, funny thing happened. Oh, this person sneezed at an inconvenient time, or their chair broke and they fell on the ground. Haha, funny, right? Drama is very, very, very useful for getting featured in LSF, which obviously brings in a lot of new people. It gets your viewers up, gets your subs up, it gets your donations up because a lot more people are finding you, discovering you, and watching you. Drama sells very well. So something a lot of streamers do, and almost every large streamer is guilty of this, by the way. They engage in a lot of LSF bait. The idea behind this is that you do things that you know are likely to get clipped, posted on LSF, and heightened. One of the big reasons why Mike from PA, sorry, Redacted from Redacted, is as popular as he is because he built up a lot of his following before he got really popular from the Majority Report, because apparently he was Lonnie told me he was like a meme on the Majority Report for a very long time. But even before that, well after that, the way that he gained a lot of his popularity on Twitch was by basically being like a Destiny reply guy and like really hating Destiny, which gave an outlet for a lot of leftists who felt disenfranchised by Destiny's community during the lefty arc, a place to go to vent their frustration at Destiny for hating lefties, which, you know, obviously very valid if you were a leftist fan of Destiny, as I am, who gets pretty frustrated by Destiny constantly shit-talking lefties and generalizing, then it feels good to have a place to vent about how frustrating it is. But the problem is, Mike from PA wasn't doing this from a good faith perspective. Like Vosh, for example, when he criticizes Destiny for his rhetoric about leftists, he's doing it from a good faith perspective. When Mike from PA was doing it, he was doing it to try and gain clout, to sort of pull in those people that were ostracized by Destiny, very much like Hassan did, though I don't think Hassan did it knowingly. Hassan, a lot of Hassan's early pull and a lot of his early popularity that he got was a combination of Destiny fans, residual people who knew him from the Young Turks, and most notably, ex-Destiny fans who came to him because Destiny was ostracizing leftists from his community. Though I don't think Hassan did this as like maliciously and knowingly as Mike did. Nowhere near that point. I think I think Hassan knew he could like bring those people in, but I don't think he was doing it like it wasn't like scummy like how Mike did it, right? So Mike engages in a lot of LSF bait with Destiny. Here we can see I don't think a stream goes by where Mike doesn't mention Destiny. Hold on. Yeah, here's this tweet here where he talks about Destiny. Oh, I'm trying to find. Fuck, where is it? Ah, you guys get the point. I don't need to dig through the content and get too off the rails. But Mike from PA is somebody who, in every single time I've even heard about Mike from PA, it's been him doing something in seemingly an attempt to garner popularity, views, and other notoriety from drama. And that's what this seems to be here. I'm going to watch a little bit of Tread Logic's debate with him, and then we'll probably wrap up the segment.
Is it going to be... Are we going to have a second, you know... To be honest with you, it would probably be better if we made it spicy, but I don't know.
Platform, because he's being paid to speak. And that would require him to go above and beyond, in my view. Platform.
Hold on.
Public figure, I do think he needs to go above and beyond what we would do for other people who have been going through some sort of rehabilitation program, because he has a platform, because he's being paid to speak. And that would require him to go above and beyond, in my view, as a major figure.
It's just...
So, the argument he's making right here, this is Slither, Slither.io. The argument he's making here is that because Beau is a YouTuber with a platform and makes money from doing his job, then that means Beau needs to be held to a higher standard? This is such a weird, like, backpedal now. Now it's not like, oh, he needs to be held accountable. Now it's, oh, because he has a platform, we have to make sure that he's sufficiently... I think he wants Beau deplatformed now. I actually can't tell what his actual goal in this is, other than just to gain clout.
I'm not saying that he
Yeah, he went to prison.
needs to be ostracized from society forever because he committed a crime. That's ridiculous. That's something he says, by the way, though. He does support that. He supports a criminal justice system with ostracization and execution. That's just something that he said.
You know, without hearing it, I wouldn't know.
I am not that. That's him, though. That's what he believes.
Well, you say, I mean, I don't know. I'll have to take your word for it for the purposes of this conversation. You know, it's very odd to me that like a lefty would support the death penalty, but I know some people do. But in any case, I guess my concern.
Okay, let me see. Someone could find that in my chat.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's
I'll watch
I think he talks about his perfect world. It's like a 3-minute video. I think it's still up.
I guess one concern I've got with what you're doing is you're kind of taking someone who has been through the current criminal justice system and you're kind of putting this mark on them outside of that and saying...
The mark has nothing to do with the criminal justice system. I don't...
Tread Logic, why'd you do that? You could have killed that guy back there by just quickly going in front of him, take his balls, and you would have been good.
I care that he was a felon. I care that he exploited people. The same way I talk about Jeff Bezos right now for exploiting people, I'm not attacking him because he's a felon. He's not a felon. Everything he's doing is legal. But I'm calling him an exploiter. Now, what Beau did just so happened to be exploitation plus happened to be illegal as well. So he did get some amount of retributive punishment for it. But
some amount.
You know, just because he got retributive punishment doesn't mean that what he did was okay. It should be, again, he doesn't apologize. He lies about it. And there's nothing I can see. And I have yet to be linked any evidence of him.
Hey, guess what? You guys want to hear something hilarious? You guys want to hear an extremely hot take? This is my hottest fucking take. Oh boy, you guys ready? Hypers, if you're ready for my hot take. The only people on this entire planet who Beau owes an apology to are the direct victims of his actions in the past. He doesn't owe an apology to Mike. He doesn't owe an apology to his audience. He doesn't owe an apology to us. He harmed those people, and those are the people that he should probably apologize to. He's done nothing to us. We're not the ones that get to beg for an apology or demand an apology. If anyone deserves an apology, if anyone has a right to demand an apology, it's them. But to be fair, it's been 15 years and they probably don't fucking care anymore.
Being open and forthright about.
He might have apologized to them already. I wouldn't put it past him to have contacted. Well, actually, it's highly likely that legally speaking, he can't contact any of those people. But wait, oh my God, Mike admits trying to contact the victims in this convo. Oh, cool. Beau, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure legally speaking, at least from like my understanding, he probably isn't allowed to contact those people legally speaking. I don't think it's allowed. I know that a lot of criminal, like if you go to prison, I don't think you're allowed to contact other convicts even after you get out of prison. I don't think it's allowed. Definitely not when you're on parole, if you have parole, but I would actually wouldn't be surprised if Beau's legally not allowed to contact those people to apologize. So that point there might even be moot.
About what he did.
Sure, but I guess, the remedy for that would be for him to apologise for the dishonesty.
Ooh, nice one, Chad.
And then to, lay clear what actually happened. It seems odd to me that without going to say, right, you've got to go and do all this other stuff as well. And I get what you're saying. Obviously, what he did was egregious and what he did was bad. But the remedy for that, isn't to then go and... I mean, if you think personally that that's what you should do, that's fair enough. That's your right to. But I guess my point is like, I think if he apologised and if he did a video, that's fine. But let's say that he doesn't do anything, right? He's not interested in doing any of it. What do we do then, right? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, you've got these ideas about what should happen. And he may do that. He may do some of it. He may do none of it. But if he doesn't do anything, like, there's nothing really we can do further from there, no?
I mean, I see a post that he made that was on his official website that's now been archived. I hadn't seen this before. Mm-hmm. And he pretty much just calls it all lies, right?
Okay.
He says, if I fell on my sword, I fell. My attorney was able to get some charges thrown out, but by the end of the trial, a jury of 12 people who had been misled by standard proceedings of a courtroom for a few days reached a verdict. I was found guilty on 5 or 6 counts. I honestly can't remember and don't care enough to look it up.
I actually believe that. We read the court report, and apparently every single other person involved pleaded guilty and threw Beau under the bus. Like, this isn't an excuse for Beau, but we read the court report. Do you remember everybody else that was involved had pleaded guilt, had taken a plea deal, and Beau was like the fall guy. That is what seemed to have happened from what I read. We read the sentencing earlier. Everybody else involved pleaded guilty. They took a plea deal, and the fall guy was Beau.
I mean, just to be clear,
that's
you understand. I agree. I agree.
Like,
you understand, right? I agree with you.
Why are we skipping ahead to the rehabilitation conversation?
Because I agree. I agree with everything.
He doesn't care about rehabilitation. Do you think there is something with somebody who takes advantage of all these people?
But
do you think the victims were liars?
Well, no, I agree with you.
That.
This is okay. I agree with you that what he did was awful, and the fact that he's lied about it is awful, and he should work to, at the very least, apologise for being dishonest and painting the honest picture. So you say we're kind of moving away from that when I've accepted all of that. I don't know what else you want me to say about that part of it.
I mean, but here's the thing: accepting it, but then you don't accept the fact that he.
The reason Mike is doing this, by the way, is because he's trying to shoehorn his debate opponent, ChudLogic here. He's trying to shoehorn him, or at least try to make it seem like ChudLogic's defending Beau's past actions, when that's not what ChudLogic is doing at all. He just wants to... Beau also has a court order not to discuss certain details, apparently. But Mike is trying to moralize further by he's trying to straw man his debate opponent's position into defending what Beau did, rather than Chud's actual position, which is, yeah, what he did was wrong. Let's talk about your actions now and what the best way to proceed is, knowing this and acknowledging what he did was wrong.
That he's not sufficient. So, like, for as far as all you guys are concerned, we should just go back to watching Beau videos and just let this go down under the rug.
No, come on. I didn't say that at all. I said that.
Well, that's why I offered mine thing. You said it was too hard, that he shouldn't have to dedicate any amount of time or effort to the victims of human trafficking.
Okay, well, you know,
so what is your alternative? What should you do? I offered mine.
Sure.
What should he do?
Let me put it to you in a different way, right? I think it would be ideal if he did something to at least gesture towards that cause and to say, look, you know, I caused all these problems, I caused this harm. I'm going to donate, you know, I don't know, $100 or something, whatever it is, right, to that cause, right? I think ideally he should do that, right? But my question to you is, like, let's say he doesn't. What happens next?
Well, what would you think of someone who was what do you think is a horrible thing that someone should, you know? Is there anything? I mean, do you think this rises to the level of being important? Like, if he ignores it, should you just ignore it as well?
I think you're missing my point. Like, you know, like, for example, for
me...
No,
I don't know. Actually, I say in the video, I don't know the answer to this question of what we should do. This is the facts. This is who he is.
Hey, Chad, I'm curious. What material harm does it cause the world if this never came to light and Beau continued to make lefty content and de-radicalize people and be platformed? What harm does it cause the world? Damn right, nothing. There is no tangible physical harm whatsoever caused to the world by this. Typically, if I'm going to call someone out, it's because they're currently doing something that is bad. Or they're currently doing something that is causing physical, tangible harm to the world. Whether it be spreading propaganda, like right-wing propaganda, lying about people to try to ruin their reputation, their career. Hint, hint, Mike from PA. Like an actual, tangible way that they're hurting the world by doing the thing they've done. Now, this isn't even talking about something someone did a long time ago and then went to prison for and has since agreed it was wrong. Yeah, the only harm is to Mike from PA and fascists. Yeah, they're the only ones that get harmed by this not being public. Make your own conclusions.
Well, and I guess... I'm asking you, what should we do when people like this are part of the left?
Well, there's nothing. This is my point. There's nothing really we can do. People will either decide to watch him or not watch him, and that'll be it.
Will you watch him? Will you watch more Beau videos from now on, or no?
I don't really watch Beau videos as it is, but you know, if there was someone that had done something egregious.
Hey guys, guess what? I don't really watch much Beau the Fifth Column either. So I'll like sit down when Lonnie has a video on, and I'll watch it whenever she has it on the TV in the bedroom. But you know what? This drama isn't going to change a goddamn thing. Not a goddamn thing. It isn't going to change anything.
And had been dishonest about it and hadn't made clear what was going on, that would leave, you know, I probably wouldn't watch that person's videos anymore. No. I think honestly,
would you encourage other people to watch the videos? Would you speak out against that person?
No. I would encourage anybody who I thought would enjoy Beau's videos that could be moved further left to watch Beau's videos. Absolutely. I am a consequentialist. I think the material good done to the world by people even just not knowing this drama is far superior than that of like someone who did a bad thing in the past and went to prison for it, now making lefty content, influencing people to the left and helping people. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have any, like, you know, there's lots of people that have done bad stuff. I don't speak out against every single person that's done a bad thing. You know, I wouldn't personally, like, recommend his videos.
Very convenient.
What do you mean very convenient? That's just a fact, of course. Like, there's...
I mean, no, but you know about this. So you've also made money off of it by putting it on your stream. So you've now monetized it. You've slapped a label on it. You sold it.
Wait a second.
So now you're involved in it. Now you're involved in it.
That's very rich coming from you, Mike from PA. Like, we all do it, okay? You, me, Destiny,
right, that's why I'm
Bosch.
speaking out. I'm being consistent. You know, I spoke out about it, and now I'm trying to get a resolution.
Wait, You can't. That's not what being consistent is. That's the definition of being hypocritical. When you. Wait. He's calling out Chud Logic for debating him about spreading this bullshit and then saying Chud Logic is spreading the bullshit by debating him about it, and that makes Chud Logic hypocritical. Mike, are you drinking like a glass full of lead-infused water every morning? Or are you really this dishonest?
Okay, but like, you know, I've got nothing to do with Beau. I've watched like 3 of his videos.
You do now. You watch my video.
Yeah,
you're commenting on it.
No, wait.
You're on my platform.
But I've never promoted him. Okay, I've never promoted the guy. I've never spoken to him. Right? I've got no more obligation to speak out about this guy than I have anyone else that's done a bad thing that I vaguely am aware of. You know, you can't obligate people to speak out against someone. That's up to them, isn't it? Like, I don't know.
I'm obligating you because you profited from it. Now you're obligated to speak out.
Okay.
One way or the other.
How would you make me?
A good guy.
How would you make me? Like, well, this is ridiculous. How would you make me do that? Like,
I think it's a moral. Obviously I don't have power over you. I think it's a moral statement of your character that you would profit from these stories and then not comment on it and be like, well, watch Beau or not, I don't care.
But
that says something about you, right?
Wait a second.
Hey, guess what? Watch Beau or not. It's up to you. I don't care.
Wait a second, though. We're speaking about it right now and getting to the bottom of this, and I've said, yeah, I wouldn't watch his videos anymore. It would leave a sour taste in my mouth. You know, I wouldn't promote them. No, I wouldn't promote them, sure. But, you know, like, what do you expect me to do? Do like a week-long fucking stream talking about how, oh, look at this person, he's really bad. Like, we're doing it now. We're making the content now, and I've said my piece about it. Like, what more do you expect from me?
So I think what we're fundamentally coming down to is you don't really believe that anybody should be judged or in any way kind of, you know, if they do horrible things, that's, you know, kind of their business, and we, you know, whatever. You know,
what? That's absurd. Nah, that's ridiculous. You're just saying that to make me sound bad. I feel like
He is. Mike might be one of the most moralizing, virtue-signaling sacks of shit I've ever fucking heard. I didn't like Mike from PA before this. I didn't like Mike PA before his debate with Vosh, where he made an embarrassment of himself. And I didn't like Mike from PA back whenever his drama with Destiny was happening. I've never really been a fan of Mike from PA. But I've lost... It's hard to even say... I can't even say I've lost respect for him because I never had it. I guess the last bit of charitability that I had for Mike has gone away. That's the most that I can say, I suppose. Sorry, redacted from redacted. I keep on doxing him. I'm sorry. Yeah. It has confirmed my negative. Like, the weird thing is, I guess maybe this is illogical. You ever like see somebody or hear about them or watch something of theirs and just kind of get a bad feeling about them? And you have no like logical reason to have that feeling. And you kind of feel bad that you have that feeling because it's like you don't really have a reason to. It's like a gut feeling. If something rubs you wrong and then something happens and you've got a real good reason to not like that person and you're like, well, shit. Now that gut feeling has kind of been... what's the word for it? Vindicated, you know? That's how I feel now. It's actually a lot how I feel now when it comes to Mike from PA. Yeah, same goes for like Lily Orchard, right? We call that waiting for the twit longer? Yes, we do, Caesar. Yes, we do. Yeah, we do. Anyway... This drama is extremely fucking dumb. Yes, Beau did terrible shit in the past. What he did was not good. Ideally, Beau would, if he hasn't already, I'm not going to dig to find out whether or not he has. Frankly, I don't care all that much. It's not all that important to me. He would explain everything that happened, admit that it was wrong, and move on. Though, actually, from a content creator standpoint, deny is actually the best thing that you can do. I'm not even kidding. When you get into drama as a content creator, the worst thing you can do is make like a forlorn, solemn apology video. It never, ever works out positively. Like, unironically, the best way to deal with drama is to either ignore it, deny, or like, if it's so incontrovertible that you can't do that, admit that what you did was bad and then move on. That's like the best that you can do. You can't really deny having served a record. Yeah, that's why he's not doing the deny thing. But like, this is clearly Mike grasping for attention and relevance from a much larger figure. Beau served his time, pretty long time too. God, over 4 years in prison. Jesus. God, can you imagine how much that's gotta suck? 4 years in prison. I haven't even been streaming for 4 years. I think I started doing my political content early 2019. I'm like not even halfway through my 3rd year of doing this. I think I've been doing this for about 2 years now. God knows how long he was on probation for. You know, you're not allowed to leave the state when you're on probation. Depending on if he got probation. He probably did get probation. Like, you're not even allowed to leave the state when you're on probation. He had all of his assets were probably taken by the government. Like, come on. Christ, dude. Mike, get the fuck over yourself. Stop being such a fucking drama leech. This is pathetic. This is embarrassing. It's counterproductive. You damn well know it is. If you put this much effort into taking down a conservative, you could have actually it could have resulted in some actual good being done in the world, but you decided that you were instead going to try to dig up some drama that's long since been paid for from 14 years ago against a prominent leftist figure to try and prevent him from pulling people away from the right and preventing them from committing acts of fascist terrorism. Go fuck yourself, Mike. Never had respect for you. Now I have even less. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. I do appreciate it. Subscribe, ring the bell icon if you haven't already. You can follow me on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and join my fan Discord. The link's in the description, as always. And if you want to support me financially, you can donate or sub through my website, xanderhall.com/live, or on my YouTube. You can super chat or hit the join button to become a channel member. I do appreciate it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.